Yeah. All right, now.
We'll
All
try
right.
it. Got it back. Okay. It appears that this person is having some event, and they're saying if you find the purple kiss somewhere in something, and it appears to be a Hershey's kiss they're talking about, then they're going to buy a drink. They're going to buy your drink.
Okay.
Yeah. So we cautioned this broker as well. The ad shows Amber Cells 910 as being the firm or being the whatever it is this is supposed to be. This is not a licensed firm. Amber Cells 910 is not a licensed firm. So we talked to her about this. And then we also had a talk about over here on the side, you can see that the page for this person is your bleeping realtor. And, wow, it wasn't a violation of our rules, but it seemed kind of bad. And I don't know if their BIC knew about that, but that seemed kind of bad. So I thought that was a pretty good one and you would enjoy it. The brokers are out there advertising in all kinds of ways that are some of which are good and some of which maybe aren't so good, and they might get you into trouble as well. So be careful with them and their advertising, and make sure you have some good policies in place about what they can and can't do. You don't want them to do anything that's too embarrassing.
Hey, Janet.
Yes.
Hey, I have another question.
You fire away.
Some agents, not within our firm, but on my social media page, they'll say, share my page to be registered to win a $50 gift card. I feel like that somewhere is written that is not, like you can't do that.
So that it could be an illegal lottery, which is something that the Attorney General's office pursues, and they take it pretty seriously. So if anybody is going to offer any kind of contest for anything, they need to, first of all, clear it through the Attorney General's office. It cannot be, and you can't have an illegal lottery. So, and there are very specific rules about what you can and can't offer as prizes.
And that can kind of be, I was thinking, misconstrued as you're paying a non-licensed agent for referrals, basically.
If it's offered for referrals and it's to an unlicensed person, then yes, that is a commission violation.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I couldn't quite hear everything you said, but if that's what it is, if it's a referral, if you give me a referral and you get so much, you get a Hershey kiss.
Yeah.
that's probably a violation. Maybe not one kiss, but maybe a whole bag. I don't know. At some point, the Hershey kisses are going to amount to a violation.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Sure. Do you guys have other questions about advertising? All right. I know that Chris has a lineup of different topics he wants to talk about.
Hey, I do have one question about advertising from a company standpoint and a BIC standpoint.
Okay.
If one of your auditors came in our office and wanted to see Agent Smith's TikTok post from a year and a half ago, are we required to keep a copy of that, or can we just pull it up, hopefully on their TikTok channel or whatever you call it?
If you're asking me how to pull something up on TikTok, you are talking to the wrong person.
Me too. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I am not the person. I don't even have a TikTok account. And my son is always telling me, I saw that on TikTok. Oh, okay. Okay, well, I'll never see it. Yes, a broker has to be able to show a copy of every advertisement for their properties for a 3-year period. So they should be saving copies of their TikTok videos, Their Instagram posts, I think those disappear too. I do have an Instagram account. I don't use it, but you do have to keep copies of that. So your broker should be maintaining copies of all of that, and they should send you a copy.
Is that copies of advertisements for listings or copies of advertising a funny meme about what it is that we do?
Oh, no, just when it comes to their real estate. Yeah. Funny meme, we don't care about.
So
Anybody
if-
else got any questions?
I do, Chris. So if an agent is uploading a video to Facebook and the Facebook, if you can screenshot a shot of the Facebook ad, you're not necessarily getting a copy of the video. So is it recommended for the agent that is uploading the video to Facebook to retain that in some kind of storage media and
Yes.
provide that onto a thumb drive or something for storage for the agency? I think that's what's created my fear, Janet, is, you know, upon an audit with some of these new social media things, and I'll be 60 in December and I'm not savvy like a lot of my 28-year-olds are. And I don't want to get hung out to dry because I didn't save a video or a TikTok screenshot, or
Right.
the agent didn't save it and I was not aware of it, because unless you're friends, or I don't spend 8 hours a day in social media. So I feel like I'm at a disadvantage as a broker in charge, because I'm going to get hit with something that I didn't know about, even though we try to have a policy to have some of this stuff captured. It's just seemingly an endless task when you've got the volume of agents that we're growing into,
Right.
even as a small firm. So I don't know. I'm just fearful that I won't be able to retain everything that is necessary as a BIC, and that's just got me scared.
It's a very scary thing. It really is. The broker should be maintaining a copy of what they post. If it's a video on Facebook, they should be able to access that going down the road. You won't be, unless you require them to send you every video that they do post. If it's on some of these other social media outlets like TikTok, and I think Instagram is the same way, they disappear, I think, after a period of time. And so they need to be providing that for you, or at least saving a copy themselves and have a designated storage place for them to put it. If you have a policy in your office that says they have to upload any videos to some certain drive you have in the cloud somewhere that saves all of these things, and here's how they need to identify it to the property that they're advertising, something like that, and the broker fails to do that, they know the policy, you've expressed the policy to everybody. Some brokers in charge even have people sign off on these policies so that they've got something saying, hey, I told them they had to do this and they didn't do it. I can't ask you to look at every video that goes out there, and I can't ask you to know when your brokers are posting every video. If they don't tell you, they don't tell you. But if you tell them they've got to upload it here and here's the spot, and you keep that for 3 years and then you ditch it, then you've done everything you can do. And I've got no complaint over that.
Thank you, Janet.
I think that would be a good policy to have. Provide them a space and tell them they've got to upload it. Anybody else on advertising?
No, I think you got it all, Janet.
All right, you want to switch topics?
Let's switch gears real quick.
Okay.
Two things have come up recently, and our local association has big meetings every once in a while. I think every month, Wendell, if I'm not mistaken. But one of the topics that came up last month, I heard, was around what we call escalator clauses in contracts.
Right.
Can you give us some? My idea is that I would consider it shopping offers, and I do not encourage them. What say you?
The commission says that these are not, they're not illegal per se, but they are not, we do not advise you to get involved in this kind of thing because it does push you to the point of revealing the terms of someone else's offer, which you're not allowed to do. You cannot reveal the terms of another buyer's offer without that buyer's permission. So when you put in an escalation clause, you know, it basically says, I'm a buyer, I'm willing to pay up to this top amount, and I'll pay this much over the highest offer. But it also requires you to be able to show this buyer the highest offer usually, and that's a problem. That's a problem. I think that especially in this market right now, you've got so many people competing for properties that you don't even need to mess with these because you're going to have bidding wars on a lot of properties regardless. And these escalation clauses lead to complaints and put you in a position where you may have disclosed the amount or terms of another buyer's offer without that buyer's permission. So they can be a real trap for brokers.
Anybody have questions about that? Concerns about that? Have you seen that?
Chris, I had one over the weekend. I think it was Viviana had it, and I told her to get back with that buyer's agent that submitted that escalation clause and just tell them to bring the best offer, that we would not be able to ascertain and provide them the highest offer, because if I were another buyer's agent, I'd say, no, you're not getting that authorization to release our terms. So I just told her,
Right. Why would you?
yeah, I would not want to disadvantage my client in any way. So I would shut that down pretty quick. But I told her, just tell that agent that if they want to submit an offer without the escalation, just bring the best offer, and then we'll consider all offers. And that's how I handled it. That's how it proceeded after she got back with that agent.
I think that's the way to go, really.
Any other discussion around escalation clauses before I move on? All right, Janet, I think I know the way you're going to go on this, but I want to clarify.
Okay.
So we're starting to hear chatter mainly from the mountains and the beach that sellers are not paying buyers agents.
Sellers are not paying what?
Sellers are not going to pay buyers agents, or starting to not pay buyers agents. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
That came up with one of our agents yesterday. I'm not going to throw under the bus, but I don't think what she said was right. So we can't keep a client we can't make a client pay a buyer's agent. Is that correct?
Well,
A seller, I'm sorry.
No, you can't. But the seller isn't paying the buyer agent. The buyer, typically the buyer agent is getting paid from the
That's right. Yeah.
From the listing agent.
Right.
So the buyer's agent's arrangement through the MLS system usually, but it can be outside that system as well. But that is an arrangement made between the listing agent and any cooperating agent that brings a buyer. And that's something that's put out as part of that MLS agreement, or it's a separate agreement between the listing broker and the buyer's agent. So it's not really the seller. So when you say sellers are starting to not, I'm thinking, well, that's listing agents who are starting to not.
Right.
But if they're a member of the organization, I believe that it's mandatory that they agree to pay.
I know the Canopy MLS makes you put a percentage in for a
Right.
buyer. I don't know if other ones are like that, but
As far as I know, they are all that way.
is that? I don't know how to ask this question, but
Okay.
it,
It's the way that agency has kind of evolved in North Carolina. There are states that do not allow, there are a minimum number of states, very few, that say that the seller pays their agent, the buyer pays their agent, and that's the way it goes. It's just not something that, it's not the way it evolved here. And I don't know that brokers are going to be able, I think it'd be a really hard time for all of the systems in the MLS that arrange for compensation in that way to get rid of that. I'd be surprised to see that happen, but it might, you never know. But that is something that is an arrangement between cooperating members in the MLS systems.
could that, I know, and I don't know if it's NAR involved in the lawsuit, but I've seen consumers have lawsuits against groups in other states about sellers don't feel like they should pay buyers, agents.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just concerned that we got to watch our verbiage because we don't want to be construed as price fixing
Right.
or any kind of, I guess it's just price fixing. I was going to say racketeering, but you know where I'm going with that.
Now let's hope we're not going for that. But the price fixing typically comes along when you are establishing a set commission rate. Commissions are supposed to be negotiable, so there may be average rates in different areas and for different services, but you all haven't come together as a group and said you can only charge this amount and the buyer's agent has to get this amount and the listing agent has to get this amount. You are making that declaration on each property as to what you're willing to pay a buyer's agent that brings a seller or that brings a buyer to the table, but that amount could differ depending on the property and the commission rate that you may be charging. And you're not required to pay anything. Legally, you have, as a member of this organization that you are in, this trade organization that you're in, and this MLS system, you have agreed that you will pay other brokers within the system. But if for some reason the organization decided to stop doing that, they could. And I don't know what would happen if you started putting in zeros for your buyer agent percentage there. I don't know if that would be a violation of your own agreement or the other people in your area would be pretty ticked with you, but.
So we can, in theory, we can tell our sellers that it is customary that we compensate a buyer's agent.
That we
It
cooperate.
is
We cooperate as long as we don't use a hard number.
correct. And that it is even beyond customary that it is something that you do as part of advertising in the MLS, right?
Okay.
And being a member of that organization that gets a great deal of exposure for the property for the client. So they're paying you a commission regardless. And so they're not really paying the commission to the buyer agent. You're sharing your commission. So what you do with your commission is your business.
Okay.
Unless you're giving it to somebody that's unlicensed, and then it's my business.
Hey, Janet, it's Paula again. I have another
Sure.
question. There's a lender that is basically trying to recruit agents, realtors, to get their mortgage license. And then
Okay.
once they get their mortgage license, they are to basically give this mortgage lender their buyer. Once the buyer, I guess, completes the purchase, then they are going to get a, I'm not gonna say kickback, but
Mhm.
get,
kickback.
get a certain percentage.
Right.
I think it's a gray area. I'm totally against it. I guess this is why that mortgage lender hasn't approached me yet, because I'm very vocal against the situation. But as far as the real estate commission stance, what would that be?
Well, it definitely puts you in a situation where you're creating a conflict of interest for yourself with any buyers that you might represent, because your buyers may likely get a better rate and better terms on a mortgage somewhere else.
Mhm.
And if you are obligated to referring them to a particular mortgage lender, first of all, you're going to have to give a disclosure to your client that you're making something off of that.
Mhm.
And so you're going to have to make that open disclosure to them. For the mortgage broker, it may be a violation of their own regulating authority. It can also be a RESPA violation, which is a federal violation for both you and the mortgage broker to be service providers, direct service providers in the transaction who are receiving kickbacks from each other. So that could absolutely be a RESPA violation, something you would want to avoid.
How would you recommend us as a firm protect ourselves from rogue agents doing something like that?
Rogue agents are hard to protect yourself from because they are out to do bad no matter what. When you have policies, good policies in your firm, and you police those as best you can, maybe you have a policy that they cannot have a mortgage broker license and be referred.
Oh, no.
Not again.
No. It froze up. Why is it doing that?
And protecting yourself as a BIC.
All right. Anybody else got any questions for Janet while we have her? And we are very grateful for your time
Yes,
today, Janet.
thank you
And
so
then I'm
much.
going to turn the tables on you guys. And I'm
Uh-oh.
going to ask you what you think about BIC supervision and whether you think BICs are generally doing a good job supervising, not doing a good job supervising. What does the commission need to do to make this work better?
Well, I for one think our BICs are doing a fantastic job.
Yeah.
But that being said, from my experience personally, I think there's a lot of opportunity. One of the opportunities is, and I've had this discussion with other instructors, but having one BIC per office doesn't matter if you've got 2 agents or 600 agents.
Mhm.
Our Kannapolis office has 88 agents, and
Mhm.
Wendell does a fantastic job, but that's a lot of people to supervise. I think that's a challenge, and
The number of brokers that you're supervising.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's a challenge, but I mean, what,
2 brokers in one location.
yeah, I don't know if you should have,
Maybe
you
like,
could-
depending on how many agents, like there has to be, if you have 50 agents, you need one BIC. If you have
Yeah.
100 agents, then you need 2 BICs, like some kind of, range.
A range.
Yeah.
my old firm had 160 agents and one BIC, and
Yeah.
they were concerned about recruiting and not supervision.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
And I think there's BICs out there that I don't know if they're doing it for the money or what, but absolutely not. And that's one of the reasons we get people at our offices because they're not getting the supervision and the guidance that they need.
Well, I can tell you that some of them are out there doing it for, you know, hey, a firm offers me $1,000 a month to be the BIC. I'm going to be the BIC. So
Right,
now
right,
I never go to the office. I don't even know what's going on, right?
right.
Yeah, not a clue, but I'm getting $1,000 a month. So
Yeah, exactly right.
yeah, so there are definitely people out there that are doing it for that reason.
Right. Don't
So
let
I-
me be the only one to speak up. Come on, guys. Come on. Well,
I think personally, I would love, and maybe you guys have it, and I just don't know, like a video library. Like on the website, I could go to the commission's website and say, looking for rules on advertising. You know what I'm saying? And there's a video. Rules on earnest money deposits, rules on due diligence, you know, things like that that would be so helpful that we could just, it would be a video away, you know, that we could have.
do have videos. We do have some videos on our website. We probably don't have all the topics you would like to see, but we do have some on there, and we have quite a few about trust accounts and trust accounting.
yeah, we don't
So-
have trust accounts.
Oh,
We don't
well,
wanna deal with
no.
that.
go take a look at what's on the website, and
Okay.
if you have ideas about topics, let me know.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, Janet, when we
Uh-huh.
revamp our advertising policy, is
Yes.
it okay to copy and paste the rules from your web or from the commission's website to
Sure.
insert it? Okay.
Sure, that's a great thing to do.
Okay.
You can summarize it or condense it if you need to. You can do that. Yeah, absolutely. Anything you can do to get the message
Mhm.
delivered.
Is there anything that you would recommend for us as a firm to do for advertising other than a good airtight policy as possible, I guess?
I think having that kind of a policy, I mean, a good airtight policy is one of the best things that you can do. You know, you could, if you wanted to, you could limit where they can advertise. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. You know, I don't know how much traffic you get from a TikTok video. Maybe you get a lot. I have no clue.
Mhm.
So maybe weighing whether those kinds of ads are worth the risks that are out there. I don't know. That might be something you could do, but you got other things to do besides that. If you just have a place for them to upload their videos and tell them what they've got to have in them, you ought to be okay.
We've got agents that have over 3 million views on their TikTok videos.
I'm just blown away by that.
I know, me too.
But
I'm blown
like,
away.
but it's really not them advertising a home. It's them like basically like reenacting their emotions of a multiple offer situation, you know, to a
Oh.
song or something. So
Oh, see, I don't care about that.
yeah, okay. It's
Okay.
only if it's only
If
if
they're
it's
just being stupid, we don't care.
okay,
Yeah.
so it's only if it's pertaining to a particular property or for sale, basically.
Yes, yes.
Whew, okay, that's good then.
That, maybe that'll cut out a whole lot of the videos then. You don't have to worry
Yeah.
about it.
Right,
It will.
right.
It truly it will.
Yeah, it's definitely a whole new world for advertising, for sure.
Yeah. Well, that'll definitely, I think that clears up a lot for us.
Good.
Yeah, because a lot of now the TikToks and even some of Facebook, the videos are just fun, like the day of life of a realtor. It's not an advertising of a property.
Right, right.
So we do not have to keep those. We
You do
don't
not
need.
have to keep those.
Woo, okay, we're good then.
Sure.
I'm positive we're good then. I
That
think.
should eliminate a lot of the stuff that's out there.
Yes, it does. Great. Janet, thank you so much for your time.
Well, thank you guys for having me. And if you have questions that come up, feel free to email me. My email is janet@ncrec.gov, or call me. The commission's office is back open again, and
Yay.
yay, yeah, and we're both in the office and working from home, so there's a little bit of, but we're always available. So when my phone rings here, it also rings on my cell phone. So even if I'm working from home, I'm gonna get it, and emails and everything. So send them on and ask questions. We'd rather you ask questions and clear it up than make the wrong decision. So
Well, don't be surprised if we don't ask you back in several months.
we'll
If
come
something else
back
pops up.
anytime you want. As
All
long as I can do it, I will come back, and I will probably be hitting some of you guys up. We're gonna do a broker in charge. We're gonna do some focus groups to talk
Great
about
idea.
broker supervision. So I may be hitting some of you guys up for that.
Well, we've got the
Yeah.
best in the state, so do
Well,
that.
I'm gonna write that down that you said that.
No pressure, Bix.
Okay. Make sure you preface your statement that they're not getting a free trip to Raleigh for something bad. It's something good.
Oh, no, it'll be a Zoom meeting where we talk about supervision. So you won't even have
Okay.
to come to Raleigh. Yeah. Nothing bad. No brown envelope.
All right,
I
good.
don't think we're doing brown envelopes anymore. We've been doing everything by email over the last 2 years. So I'm not even sure we're using brown envelopes anymore.
I can lessen my anxiety going to the mailbox now. I
That's
guess.
right. That's
Awesome.
right. All right.
Well,
You guys
again,
have a great day. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank
Janet.
you.
We appreciate you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.